What's going on, guys? It's Jimmy here. A federal judge orders the Trump administration to send out payments to tens of millions of Americans immediately. I'll give you the details on that. This comes as the government shutdown is now in a record amount of days, is causing mass chaos across the country. I'm going to give you the details of what is happening here, and you're not going to believe what is happening in airports across the country. We're going to go over details of it here in this video, and we are live right now here on the YouTube It's Jimmy Show. Let me know if you can see and hear me. Type yes in the chat. Let me know where you're tuning in from. You can let me know your city, state, or even your country, as we have people tuning in here from all around the globe. Don't forget to hit that like button for us. And if you haven't yet, subscribe down below so you don't miss out on future videos. Take a look here. First, take a listen to what a federal judge said just this morning and the White House's response here.
As the longest government shutdown in history drags on, food benefits for roughly 42 million Americans remain in limbo. Now, a federal judge in Rhode Island ordering the Trump administration to fully fund the food assistance program known as SNAP by today. The judge saying it's not enough to partially fund the program. The White House appealing the ruling. Vice President J.D. Vance blasting it overnight.
It's an absurd ruling because you have a federal judge effectively telling us what we have to do in the midst of a Democrat government shutdown.
The order follows weeks of chaos and confusion, leaving families wondering how they'll pay for their next meal, and long lines at food banks across the country. At this cafe in New York City, Diana Manalling is preparing meals for anyone facing a shortfall in food benefits, dropping off soup to veterans in need.
It's a lot of anxiety, uncertainty, hunger. On the flip side, it's a lot of unity and banding together.
Meanwhile, on Capitol Hill, some faint signs of progress to end the shutdown. The Senate's preparing to take a procedural step today toward creating a package that could lead to the reopening of the government. But Democrats insist Republicans must negotiate reforms to health care, including an extension of the tax credits for the Affordable Care Act.
We're here begging for negotiation, and our Republican partners are refusing to talk to us.
Republicans maintain they're willing to negotiate on health care, but say there needs to be a vote to reopen the government first.
How much more do Americans have to endure before Democrats are satisfied?
Now, most Democrats are insistent that Republicans need to bring more to the table in order for this shutdown to end. But what Republicans are still counting on is just 5 more moderate Democrats to break ranks. The Senate may work through the weekend in an effort to bring the shutdown to an end, something they have yet to do since this all began 38 days ago.
Now, honestly, that's why we're seeing this government shutdown go on so long. We're not seeing any negotiations between the two. Republicans saying they're not going to negotiate until Democrats vote with the Republicans on the Republican bill and reopen the government. But honestly, then the Democrats lose all their leverage, and they have no leverage if they reopen the government. So then they would have to vote on the fully Republican bill that the Republicans put forward without any Democrat input. So you guys can let me know your thoughts here in the comment section. That's why Democrats aren't voting with the Republicans. Remember, Republicans have control of the House, the Senate, and the presidency. They have control of all 3 branches, but they need a few Democratic votes in the Senate to get to that 60-vote threshold. But Democrats are saying they're not going to vote on a fully Republican bill without any negotiations, especially on health care, which even the CBO, the Congressional Budget Office, coming directly from the government, says that health care for millions of Americans would dramatically spike up, the cost of it. Now, we have some really conflicting information here. The Trump administration says it will fully fund SNAP while the court appeal plays out. But this is confusing and conflicting in its own self because they're appealing the decision to fully fund and pay SNAP benefits, okay? if they were going to fully fund SNAP benefits, why would they appeal it to begin with? Okay, the next sentence says the administration has asked a federal appeals court for an emergency pause on a judge's order to fully fund the SNAP assistance program, known as food stamps, for over 40 million Americans, largely goes out to seniors, children, and over 1 million veterans. So it's really strange that they say that they will fully fund it when they're appealing the decision to fully fund it by the judge, and they want to pause on the judge's order, and they're appealing the judge's order. So you guys can let me know your thoughts on this, because it looks like they're trying to not fully fund it. Now, the Trump administration told states on Friday that it will immediately begin funding SNAP benefits in full while it appeals this federal judge's order and makes its way through the courts, which is super conflicting and confusing. You guys can let me know your thoughts in the comment section. If they were going to fund SNAP benefits in full, why are they even appealing the judge's order at all, which basically just says pay the benefits in full? The Trump administration says that there is not enough money to pay for the benefits because of the government shutdown. I mean, the government has money in all sorts of different corridors and stuff like that, so we will see what happens. Now, this is a significant amount of money that goes out to the American people. About $8 billion in the SNAP program goes out to over 40 million Americans every single month. So it's not a small amount, $8 billion going out to Americans every single month. And there's only a little bit over half of that in the SNAP money, in the SNAP bank account that is there to go out. So the administration would have to find another $3.5 billion approximately from other places, from the, tariff money or something like that to pay for this. So remember here that the monthly tariff revenue is expected or estimated at about $30 billion per month. So they would only need to take about $3 to $4 billion of that $30 billion that they're taking in per month of tariff revenue to cover that money to go to Americans, if they wanted to use that. This comes here as food banks are in disaster response mode due to shutdown and SNAP cuts, leaders say. The damage gets worse and worse every day. Remember, these are the most vulnerable people out there. Disabled people, elderly people, children, and over 1 million veterans that need help with food assistance. So, it's like 1.2 million veterans that served our country that need help with food assistance. And you see the comments here, disaster response mode food banks are in. Now, this comes as Trump actually gave a warning to the Republican Party. Take a listen here.
And new reaction coming in from the White House as a shutdown stretches into day 38. President Trump telling Americans that the flight cancellations are to ensure the safety of every American. And they've got to get that message out there. Senior White House correspondent Peter Ducey live from the North Lawn. Peter, how's the communications challenge on this going?
Dana, building off of Grady's report at Reagan Airport just now, this shutdown is not happening in a vacuum. So folks here at the White House say that a chain reaction of negative events has already been triggered.
The impact on the economy is far worse than we expected because it's gone on for so long. And so there are now like Goldman estimates that it's over 1% or 1.5% of GDP. I will say travel and leisure is a place that's really being heavily hit right now. And if it continues to get hit, if the air travel thing goes south for another week or two, then you could say that they would have at least a near-term downturn.
What do you do about it? President Trump says Republicans terminate the filibuster and bring back the American dream. If you don't do it, the Dems will, and you'll never see office again. The administration is so far complying with the court order to fund food stamp benefits during the shutdown, but folks here are still a long ways apart from Democratic holdouts.
The shutdown is caused by the Democrats, and we're not going to spend $1 trillion or $1.5 trillion on health care for people that came into our country illegally, many of them from prisons and many of them drug dealers and murderers, 11,888 murderers. We're not doing that.
Later on today, Senate Republicans plan to have their first vote in a little bit to try to reopen the government. And that vote is expected to fail because Democrats are banding together. They think that they can squeeze more out of Republicans, get a better deal for the Democratic side if they wait longer.
People, watch here, Chris Murphy on saying that he thinks it could be solved in 10 minutes.
We didn't have any shutdowns when Joe Biden was president, not because there weren't big disagreements between Republicans and Democrats, but because Democrats negotiated with Republicans. So the minute we have a negotiation, we'll be able to solve this in 10 minutes.
But on the very same day, on the clip I just played with Senator Thune, he said that Democrats can't cave too early or else it'll make their left wing too mad.
This comes as air travel is absolutely atrocious right now. Hundreds more air traffic controllers could quit starting today as major hubs brace for thousands of canceled flights per day across the country, as we're seeing canceled flights and flights being shut down because of the lack of government employees, air traffic controllers, and we're seeing massive TSA security lines across the country in addition to this in all sorts of different states. You can see this headline here. Texas airports see major delays, long security lines as government shutdown continues. Another headline, after massive weekend security lines at Houston airports, here's what we saw the next several days. Travelers are facing 3-hour plus TSA lines, and it's costing the entire travel industry. Imagine waiting 3 or more hours or more just to get through security. This is because of a lack of government employees because of the government shutdown. Also, this is very important for those on Medicare or for those who have loved ones that want to be. Pay attention. The annual open enrollment period goes from October 15th only until December 7th. If you have Medicare, this is the time to choose your new 2026 plan that works best for you. There has been a lot of Medicare changes recently, and most Medicare plans change, and many just go away entirely. Luckily, my trusted partner, Chapter Medicare, makes comparing every Medicare and Medicare Advantage option easy. They're honest, unbiased, and can review your plan and get you the best one in under 20 minutes. If you're on the right plan for your needs, they'll tell you, and if you're not, they'll help you switch. And by doing this, they've saved people on average around $1,100, which is amazing. They've helped hundreds of people from my community find better plans, and they can help you too. So call this phone number on the screen, 833-700-1320, or click the pinned comment down below in the comment section to connect with Chapter and find the plan that's best for you. So make sure to share this video and subscribe down below if you haven't yet so you don't miss out on future videos. Click the bell icon so you get notifications. Click here to see new details about a Social Security benefits raise. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the